Welcome to Talkin Yanks. It's another player, profile, and projection. And this time we are doing Anthony Rizzo. What's his middle name? Alan?
Tony.
Anthony Tony Rizzo. The first baseman for the Yankees, returning to the team. Also recruited Judge to come back by sending him pictures of their dogs together.
Middle name Vincent.
Vincent, one of the best middle names out there. Career high, matched his career high 32 home runs last year, which he's had like 5 times in his career or something like that. Need him to get over that hump. A little bit of a team leader, Jake. Wants to be a Yankee. What do you got on the Riz?
And these PPPs are presented to you by SeatGeek. Code Yanks, $20 off your first order with SeatGeek. Tony Riz, first full season. You remember he got traded over, and he looked all right. He had COVID. He was hitting all these foul ball home runs that his PPP last year was like, I don't know. If this guy straightens a couple out, he should be really good. And he was really good, man. The stat line ends up being interesting, and it's going to be probably one of the bigger talking points of this because it's 224, 338. 480 slug and an 817 OPS. So that OPS probably kind of where we were hoping, right? Like if you told us Tony Riz was going to give us an 800 OPS, I think we would have signed up for that. I think we all would have assumed a little more batting average and maybe just a little less pop. Because those 32 homers are in 130 games. Those other years he hit 32 home runs, he played 140 plus. So the short porch was coming into play. You saw it in that early 3-homer game where he hit a couple fly balls that snuck out. I think we accurately reported it as the least distance of a 3-homer game ever.
Yes.
Before it actually came out as a stat that I think it was. So I don't know, man. He was good defensively. He had the back problems that felt like they were lingering for a while. And as you know, he turns 33, and as we're in the same boat, he is 33. Excuse me. That's an interesting part of this PPP, but the Tony Riz we got last year was a staple of the Yankees. Top 3 in the lineup, good at bats, good power, handsome.
Yeah. Yes, to a lot of that. I'm interested on his slash line and his stats and the way that he produced and like where his production came from, because obviously, you have a ton of homers. You want the average to be, 2-hole hitter, and for his skill set,
right?
He's not a strikeout guy. But he is not a batting average guy for the Yankees. And usually, if you're not a strikeout guy, that means you're more of a batting average guy. But he's,
we saw him lock in at times when we saw him choke up extra in certain scenarios.
Towards the end of the year, he started to do it more. Yeah. Now I'm wondering with the shift, because you look at a lefty and he definitely got denied by the shift a lot, but he also hit the other way. Like he beat the shift, and now are some of those outs. I was looking at both sides of this. Does he have a different approach? I liked when he locked in. You could tell when he was like, oh, he's just not going to get beat right now.
Kind of stood on the plate more and choked up a little more, and you're like, all right.
You're sick. So I'm excited to see if there's different. I mean, when it got announced, or we called Hap and texted him, was like, do you think this is going to change Riz? He said, yeah, I think he's going to have a different approach now. I wouldn't trade the homers, but I want more the average, I have no idea. So I'm still like kind of confused. Like, am I fine if he repeats his stat line? Right. Yeah. Would I like it a little more? It felt like there was 3 months where he was either the back was acting up or he was like not there.
Right.
I remember him and Stan rotated, being Judge's second. Then Stan went out for a while. And then Glaber became the second guy for a little bit. And then there's 3 months where he was the dude. It was him and Judge. So I'd like it to be more than 3 months. I don't know if that's accurate per the numbers, but that's how it felt at times.
Yeah, it's interesting. He came out gangbusters in April. He had a really bad May, which I guess at the time it just felt like they balanced out. Good summer, kind of a bad finish, and like you said, the back stuff. I mean, there's two things. With the shift being lessened, that should equal a few more hits. That should scratch our itch a little more. I guess the other thing that I didn't think about at all was it was a contract year for him, more or less. So if you're telling me Anthony Rizzo in a contract year, and think about what we're talking about. If we're talking about the 6th inning and there's 2 outs against Tampa, I think Tony Rizzo was still trying to hit a home run. Where maybe this year, if they're in the grind, he's got his contract. He might be willing to choke up a little more and slash one down the line or something like that. I don't know.
I think he's playing for championship. I think he's playing a team game.
He wanted to be a Yankee.
Yeah, I wonder how much his back was hurting him. And I know they were very slow with him and pretty. They at one point said, if this is the playoffs, I'd be playing. And they did have a big lead, which is, at the time, you're like, come on. And then you look back at it now, and you're like, all right, I guess that makes sense.
And you know what, man? I think we are being a little greedy here because last year, offense was down. So he had a 131 OPS plus. It was 30% better, 31% better than
what was his on base?
It was 338.
So it's all slugging, mostly slugging.
So if we just go pure shift here and say he gets 10 more hits...
And Rizzo walked 79th percentile walk rate.
I mean, if he gets 10 more hits, you're looking at a 245, 350 on base, which I think we would love with everything else.
I wouldn't say love.
Did you love him last year?
When he was on. I mean, this is a career 280 hitter before coming to the Yankees. So,
270.
I'd bummed up. I'm not loving 250.
You want to trade contact for power?
No.
Okay.
When he was hitting 260, 270, it's not like his slugging was down.
Right, but I mean, he's, I don't think he's still in his prime. I mean, an athlete's prime these days is 22 to 28.
Well, I'd love it if he dipped into the fountain of youth and found like a 265,
right,
700 or upper fours slugging.
Okay, yeah. I don't know the realism on that.
If we don't have any other contact or bat the ball guys, he provides you that bat, the result would be nice. Like when we were without Benny and DJ, finally at the end of the playoffs, he was like, oh, okay,
right,
I'll be the bat the ball guy. And he was he has that skill set.
Right.
So
that would be willing to trade a little bit
in the
of
top
power.
3. No, I just think, I don't know. You don't need to trade it for this dude used to hit 290 with a 5+ 550 slugging, at times.
Right. I mean, I just, since 2017, his slugging last year was his second highest. So I think with the short porch, I think where he's at in his career, I think he made a turn to slugging. I think some of those hits are going to come back.
Since when?
Since 2017, 2018.
2017,
After
2018,
2017.
2019 are all higher.
After 2018. And
third? Oh, it's OPS.
there's only 1 year. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was saying. So, I mean, that's coming from when he was 27 years old. He's 33 now. He's got back issues.
Hopefully right field opens up for him. And that
we
leads to more
found
doubles
the
or
10
singles.
more singles when shift went away. It's just
Yeah.
through that
Yeah,
hole.
but then I am interested how many he had through the shift, because when you look at his spray chart last year, he did have a lot of singles right at the shortstop.
He picks his spots.
Which was him doing that intentionally. So you're wondering.
It's on the whole,
Right.
is this gonna?
Yeah. I'm curious about that. I mean, listen, if he repeats last year, I'm pretty happy, especially defensively. You're going to have, hopefully, a rookie shortstop throwing to him, and that's a big confidence boost for that over there. And then, obviously, as a leader of the team and, the grit, tenacity, when he fields bunts, that's, a big message to everyone. So, yeah.
Best friends with Judge.
Yeah. They go to
Tight.
They go hitting together.
Tight. Yeah, I guess if you give me 2022 and you give me the bonus 10 shift hits, I would be more than happy.
Yeah, just want him day in, day out. Like, hopefully the back is fine.
Are they gonna, with the back stuff and they got a little bit of a roster shuffle day in, day out, do you think they're gonna get him up off first base more often this year? Like one day a week, either off or DHing?
No, because you currently don't even have a backup first baseman that's healthy.
DJ.
Yeah, it's assuming DJ's around. But.
Yeah, he can slide over there, but his situation is pretty more risk right now than Rizzo, and Stan's going to DH.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's as much as once a week, but every now and then.
Or if,
He DH'd less than 10 times last year.
Yeah, and that was like an over-under in the
this time.
PPP last year, or it was a
was a
talk we
discussion.
had.
probably a discussion point.
Yeah, and we said, like, no, he's going to have way less DH days.
I think, when Stanton, they'll ease him in from spring training like they do with every player. You hope to get a little rest down the stretch if you've done well in your division. And then, yeah, I guess if Stanton has an injury, which, it will probably happen at some point, yeah, you get him in the mix there. Yeah, I guess the back is something that's going to be interesting to track because you feel like we're going to hear about that at some point this year. Back injury isn't something that necessarily just goes away. And I feel like the Yankees kind of covered that up pretty good because remember, like, he was just sitting at first and we were like, oh, they're giving him days, and then he actually went on the IL for it later, so his back must have been...
Oh, yeah, he was in bed rest.
It's been pretty bad.
Remember,
he got the pregnancy shot.
Yeah.
So...
will you like him 3-hole?
If we hear about that early on, I'm going to be pretty concerned. I'm okay with him anywhere. That's kind of the perk of Rizzo.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
No, that can't be true.
Top 4 in the lineup.
Top 4. Leadoff, you like him?
Yeah. In a pinch, depending who's out there. Like we've talked about, we currently don't know what our leadoff situation might look like between whoever's available. But, yeah, Rizzo can be anywhere in the lineup.
Well, he can't be 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 or 9.
If there's other guys ahead of him that are doing better than Rizzo that have that figured out, but Anthony Rizzo could do it.
If a lot of things go right, 5 can happen.
I need him in the top
really
3.
good.
I actually like him at 2 better than 3, but he's not going to bat ahead of Judge. But I just like the at bat he gives you. Like I think he's a must, even if he's a little off in the top 3, like coming up in the first inning, because he's such a tough at bat. So I don't want him to fall out of that. But I don't know who's batting leadoff. And Judge is obviously in the top 3 as well.
Probably by the time this is out, we did a Talkin Yanks episode about the leadoff spot, so it's a month away. So
let's
watch
go.
That one if you didn't.
Let's go Dream World. Let's say Glaber's nasty next year. He looks great.
Put him in the 5-hole.
Let's say DJ comes back and he looks really good.
He's like 2018, 20 or 2020,
Even
20.
last year in the summer when he was good. At Rizzo, Judge is always going to have to be up there. If you can get some other guys hot and maybe it's sparking them or stretches out the lineup, Rizzo's got the flexibility. Like, he's never going to be phased at where he is, which I like that for him.
Right now, and I've changed my mind at any point, I like Judge 3, Rizzo 2. He sees so many pitches. And then he gets on base. Well, he didn't get on base that crazy last year.
Yeah.
Then there's a
Judge
who
coming up with
goes
runners
between
on
Judge
would be pretty
Stanton.
nice.
And he is the dream Judge Stanton separator.
Yeah, that is true.
So
mid Judge 2, him 3.
probably if you can find 2 guys that can get on in front of Judge, I'd be open to 3, 4, 5. But let's right now, I don't think we got that.
Yeah, DJ had a bad May as well. DJ had the same months as Rizzo. If you look at their, we'll get to him then, but they were shared. You gotta spread that out a little bit more. Okay, let's see.
And him and DJ and Rizzo have a little rivalry.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because they're like a similar size, but DJ hates playing first, and Rizzo's like, that's the only place we should play.
Are they a similar size?
Yeah.
So
I picture DJ taller
Rizzo
and thinner.
6'3", DJ 6'4".
It's the way they wear their uniforms. High socks and a little tighter. Rizzo's a little baggy. And Rizzo's always a little hunched. He's always making himself look a little wider than he is.
Well, that's the other thing about that. He's listed 240, which I know you've always been a little skeptical of.
Do I think he's lighter or heavier? He's
Lighter,
yeah.
Yeah.
He thinned out a lot. That weight might be from a while ago. Because when he came to the office, he talked about that, like how he's playing at a new weight. Career low ground ball rate last year.
Short porch, baby.
Yeah.
Shift going away can hit a couple more this year.
Let's see what Baseball Reference has.
Gave me a ball.
Yeah, he gave you a ball.
That might be
Baseball
coming into
Reference
play
has his
soon.
batting average going up. 83% reliability here from Baseball Reference. That's huge.
Wow, that's high.
Higher than the last one we did. 3 caught stealings, but 6 stolen bases. Oh, we didn't talk about that. He was too willy-nilly on the base paths. Like at first we were like, wow, Rizzo's really smart base runner. He really chooses his spots well and gets across and makes things happen. And then it was like, Riz, we need an intervention.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I called for an intervention 3 different times. Like, we cannot do this anymore.
Especially if we're doing back stuff. Like,
yeah.
I'll lose a couple of the good base running moments for just not have bad ones. When he came over, Cubs fans said that's sort of his MO is like once a month he'll have kind of one that you're like, yeah, you know better than that. We've gotten a little more than that rate.
he was kind of the outlier, too, and it was like kooky Uncle Riz, and then, like, the whole team started participating. It was like, well, if the silly uncle's doing something and then all the nieces and nephews start doing it and it's a bad thing, you kind of got to cut off the source there.
I got to tell you, I'm looking at this Baseball Reference line. I don't like it.
Okay.
I wouldn't sign up for this.
Go off, King.
Well, it's low. They're always low. But 231 batting average, 330 on base, 434 slugging, 765 OPS with 23 home runs. Would not like that.
But that / want a couple more homers.
Yeah, I think with the stadium, my over-under OPS would be right around 800. And that, for me, that's going to be kind of his barometer for a good season. Whether that's, the batting average goes up a little bit and you lose a couple homers, whether it's just sneaking a couple hits in there. Because I think technically his homer rate was higher than it's ever been. Again, with the games played and how many home runs hit. So, yeah, that 800 OPS, that's a big number in baseball these days. And, yeah, I mean, 765 OPS from Riz this year would just be, everything we just said about wanting him in the top part of the lineup. Like, that's not necessarily a top part of the lineup guy.
No. I remember when we did this last year, we usually say, like, what stat do you look at when you judge a guy? And I said for him, I just games played. Like, I just needed him out there. And he ended up at 130 games played. I think I wanted him 150 or around 145 when I said this last year. I'm going to say the same thing again.
Okay.
You got Stanton at DH, and you got DJ, like, who's unreliable. I'm hoping DJ, if he's not hurt, is starting at third base and wins that job. So again, I like just play. I trust him to be a productive player for us on both sides of the ball if he's out there and getting hit by pitches. Because he tied last year. 23 last year, 23 the year before. Need more than that.
I forget what the exact number was, but I know last year a big talking point on his PPP was the Yankees haven't had a player at first base play was it
more than
140?
It was a very low number of games.
They played 120 at first base last year.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
He didn't hit the number, whatever exactly the number was. I think 140.
So be out there playing first, getting hit by pitches. He's led the league in hit by pitch 3 times. Let's do it again because that's when he's feeling his best. He told you that.
That's a goal.
Yeah.
That's a goal.
All right, let us know what you think about the Riz. How you judging him? What do you want? What's the fun over-under we got for him?
That's a hit by pitches, 20.5. Or 1 ball given to me during the game. I got the over on both.
Yeah.
When he's being hit, he's going good. That's what he said.
Yeah, he's going to get more hit by pitches. Not over.
Oh, there was one last thing I wanted to check. Wait.
Wait.
Career splits.
Yep.
Because last year he was better versus lefties than righties. Career better versus righties by a good chunk. So I don't know if there was something to tie into, but if you want as optimistic of a spin as I can give you, if he's become in his years become better versus lefties, and he can tap into whatever was missed versus righties last year, the numbers can really shoot up.
Yeah.
He was over 100 OPS points better versus lefties last year.
Interesting. Wonder where that comes from. He had 6 home runs versus lefties. That 3-homer game, is it all lefties?
Maybe change-ups or something.
No.
As long as he knows it's not.
He had
if it's breaking that way, he can get to it.
1 homer versus changeup and 1 double versus lefty changeup. So, not a lot.
I was saying righties, a changeup's more effective to lefties. So maybe that was the...
Yeah, when he was here, I talked about that with him. He said that all these righties are throwing changeups to lefties now because they think even if you have a bad one, it's good. And he was talking about how he loves it. Because I did the video on how he stepped up in the box. Yeah, he had a 260 batting average and a 458 slugging versus righty changeups. Breaking balls, both sides of the ball, kind of did him in. Whoops. All right, we're out. That was Rizzo.